Hello, everyone. So, today we're going to talk about 10 things that have helped me when I feel like I'm losing myself. So, the other day, I came to a realization that I had not been able to answer any of these texts that I had, and they were just left on unread from people that I actually really like. Because this feeling honestly comes from this weird disorientation where I've just been operating like a robot and been tired all the time, but I don't even know what tired means most of the time because this has been honestly a very constant feeling of just being tired. The scary part is that to everyone it feels like I'm doing perfectly fine because I'm just showing up everywhere, but on the inside it feels like I'm just dead lying on the floor and just somehow existing in these places that I'm supposed to show up. And this realization made me think harder, and you know what, I realized that I haven't listened to music in so long, and someone who had been listening to music all her life like a normal person, I have not been, for some reason, been listening to music since actually more than 4 years. And my brain has honestly been feeling like kind of a threat where I'm just filling all these silences with podcasts, audiobooks, going on a walk with someone, not by myself. If I'm doing an admin task, I'm just turning on the TV for background noise. And that's just pretty much all I've been doing. But I thought, okay, this pretty much feels like rock bottom, and I do not feel like myself anymore. So, this is when I decided that I'm going to do a few things to get myself back. And these things helped me. So, the first thing that I do is I just change my clothes. So, if I've been wearing the same outfit for, let's say, half the day, I go ahead and I just change the clothes. It's so important, I feel, to get the energy out because you've probably been feeling stagnant for half of the day. You need to get rid of that in every way possible. So even though I'm not going out or I'm not even probably meeting anyone, what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be changing the clothes, putting on a perfume, and I'm going to go and just wash the dishes. That's all I'm changing the clothes for. It's just for me, not for anyone around me. This stops me from being a floating head in a digital world. And even though I'm on my own at home or I'm just going out, it's important that I do this for myself, and it helps me feel anchored to the room. The second thing that I do, and I make it a point, that I ugly journal. So this basically means that I am gonna sit down with my favorite pen, my journal, and I'm just going to write what I'm feeling like, because I realized for the longest time that when I was journaling, I was just writing things that I saw on the internet, maybe like journal excerpts from people, these journaling prompts on Pinterest, and I was just using those as anchors. While those are great to get started with, but when you are feeling lost, it's so important for you to get rid of these like aesthetic journaling patterns and go back to yourself and write some ugly stuff and get it out of your system and out on the paper. And when you start with this, spoiler alert, you're going to probably just end up writing, I just feel weird. You're not even going to write something complex because of these borrowed thoughts that we have in our head. We do not have our original thoughts left in us anymore, and that is the point of ugly journaling. This one time I just wrote, I think I need to eat more protein. That's the only thing I did. But because in this phase of when I was losing myself, I was ugly journaling very consistently. That ended up eventually in a few days, I got some ugly feelings and writing out on the paper. Even as a writer myself, to face my own realities, it's so challenging and brutally honest in the worst way possible. But it's important, like I said before, to get it out of yourself and out on a piece of paper. And do not aim to write pretty. I think that's the aim of ugly journaling, with your words, with the content, and with the way it's going to look. Just make it a point, it's not going to be aesthetic at all. The third thing that I do is I just find one sentence that I have to hold on to for a day. That's it. Just one sentence, because you're going to have a predictable moment at the start of the day where you're going to be like, yes, I know what today is going to be like. I know I'm not going to be present and motivated or even excited for the rest of the day. These sentences could probably look like resting is okay whenever I need to. Because a lot of times I found myself resisting naps. I had the need to nap because I think I was meant mentally so drained, but I thought that's not productive enough and everyone else is out there working. And how old am I even? It's fine. It does not matter regardless of your age. You'd probably find it's the emotional baggage and the emotional weight in your head and brain and mind that's bringing you down. So hold on to just one sentence. It could even be as simple as, I'm going to drink enough water for the rest of the day. You know what that's going to do? That's going to sort of signal your brain that you are going to be looking after yourself today. That's all. You're going to have a hectic day, but just doing that one small thing for yourself is going to create a ripple effect. The fourth thing that I do is I delete things that make me forget what I want. So when I say this, what I really mean is sometimes when we are around people a lot, offline or even online, and we're consuming too much, we forget what do we like. What do we like? What do we feel like eating? Are you going to have decision fatigue with these 10 different recipes that you saw and you can't decide anymore what to eat? And what you're going to fall back on is going to be just out of the packet ramen. You don't even know. I didn't know. I honestly did not know that I wanted to probably just go out for dinner by myself. I personally love going to coffee shops. I love that. I also have my comfort coffee shop that I go to regularly every single day. That's all I like. But with these videos and articles about these new places opening up, you feel that, oh, maybe I'm not doing enough, or maybe I need to go to this new place. Oh, that looks interesting. No. Go offline, check out, log out until you understand what you want. I normally do this for 48 hours. I go offline. I do not use this phone of mine for 2 days. Just 2 days, not too long, not too less. I'm using this phone, but I'm not using these apps. I'm not going to be reading local news about these restaurants and coffee shops opening up, these events happening. Where is everyone going? I'm just going to let my friends know that, hey guys, I'm just going to be taking some time to myself for the next 2 days. So you guys go ahead and do whatever you need to. Enjoy, have a blast, send me photos. But yeah, I'm going to be seeing all of that in a couple of days. I let my brain get bored for these 2 days because boredom means honesty. That boredom is going to let you know what you actually want. The fifth thing that I do is I cook with my hands. Of course, as we all know, we've got a lot of appliances now to chop our vegetables, fruits, to help us prepare and, save time. While you're working and you need to save time, that's great. But maybe pick a day when you're relatively free, maybe a Sunday. And what I like to do is I do not use the chopper. So what I like to do is just 2 things. I'm not going to be using appliances unless they are actually needed. So I use my hands to chop my garlic, onions. They tend to feel so therapeutic to yourself, and they're going to slow you down. They're going to slow you down and anchor you into the process of cooking. And the second thing that I do is I do not do anything in the background. Nothing. No podcast, music. Well, I haven't listened to music in the first place since a while, but no music if you guys listen to it, or no audiobook. Try to be with yourself and the process that you're already engaged in. You already have one activity to do anyways. Might as well take that and immerse yourself in it. Use your hands and make it tactile and try to remember what peace actually tastes like. So remember, I told you I've not listened to music in a while, sort of situation where it has to be flagged at this point. However, to get back to that, because of course, as we all know, music has a lot of scientific evidence that it helps you with your mood and energy levels and puts you in a good state of mind. But even psychologically, I decided that just to get back to it and do something for myself, I decided that I'm gonna create a playlist of all these songs that I used to love listening to when I was younger. I put together that playlist and I made it a point that when I'm going to my daily coffee shop, I'm just listening to that. Don't want to listen to any heavy audiobooks first thing in the morning. I'm probably going to put myself in a nostalgic frame of mind via music. And to add to that point, that old version of me was also battling through some serious stuff. And listening to this playlist helped me remember that if she survived that and I'm here doing so much, now I can too, because I have done that before. The next thing I do is when I come home in the evening, I try to sit in silence. Okay, just hear me out. It's not as normal as everyone else would make it sound like. I light my best candles. I love candles. I am a lunatic when it comes to candles. I think the act of lighting a candle and then watching it burn, if you have a candle with a wooden wick, the flickering sound, oh my god, that's like, how can that not bring you peace and calm? So what I do is I light a candle, just put on these beautiful lamps, just lamps, no overhead lighting. I'm home before anyone else is home, so if I'm done with work, I usually come home around maybe either 6 or 5 o'clock in the evening, before my husband comes home, before my kid comes home. I'm just sitting in my living room, all showered. I sit in silence. It's like sitting in this deprivation tank that smells like cinnamon and vanilla. It's the only place I feel like I can be anonymous even to myself. The next thing that I do is the opposite of what I just told you, but hey, it works. I call someone or I meet a friend that I obviously trust. I meet them and I'm just like, hey, talk to me. I don't want to talk about myself for a change, because I'm always thinking about like these things that are going on, right? And they sort of have this amplifying effect. Once you talk to someone else about their life, their days, if they ended up buying oat milk instead of almond milk, your sense of empathy increases. You are involved in someone else's story. That makes you a human and a grounded human. What else do you want? Because if we're just constantly thinking about ourselves, our worries, we do not want to dwell in self-pity. So meet a friend, family member, call them up. It works every single time. Avoid talking about yourself. The next thing I do is I go outside for a walk without having a moment. So I take Louis with me, my dog, because he obviously doesn't understand my existential fog that's going on in my head. Do not take my phone, because if your phone is something that you really need, just go for a 15-minute walk. You don't have to go for 2-hour-long walks. That's fine. But just go for a walk where you don't have a phone, no camera, no book. Just go and take the world in. Breathe it in. Notice the flowers, the weather, the tree, the people. How are the people around you? The city you live in, the neighborhood you live in. Notice the human condition around you. It's beautiful when you actually have the time to lift your head up from the phone and get out of your head and actually notice people. Probably like go and sit on a bench and people watch. It's like the best thing you can do. Just sit somewhere, wear a comfortable outfit. I love wearing hoodies, my favorites, because they're so comfortable and I just have the option to put the hood on and be comfortable all the time. You can just wear your favorite outfit, whatever's comforting. Go ahead, go down, take a moment to yourself. Okay, so the last thing that I do is I make a very basic, tiny plan, which involves at 4 p.m. on a Saturday afternoon, sit on the floor in the bedroom with a hot ginger tea in your hand. That's it. That's my plan. You're not noble and you do not feel overwhelmed when you do this. And in your head, because you've made this plan, you're just going to be this person who sits on the floor with a hot drink at 4 p.m. today afternoon. How amazing is that? You can do that. We all want to do that, but we're all consumed with these thoughts or being busy all the time and, oh, I don't have to do that because I have work and I'm too tired and I'm going to sit in front of the TV today. But guess what? You can make that a part of your plan and sit on the floor. Maybe knit something for a friend or a family member. So all I'm trying to say, guys, is that when you are losing yourself, you don't need another self-improvement project. And this is a disclaimer. Please do not make it another self-improvement project, because that's the last thing you need. You are going to get even more overwhelmed and probably lose yourself even more in the process. And I always advocate identity and how important it is to look after yourself. So when you are losing yourself or you've lost yourself, the only thing you need to do is make sure you come back to yourself. Who are you? What did you like doing before you lost yourself? Was it going cycling on a nice day, enjoying the rain, wearing amazing clothes every single day, reading books, journaling half of the day and procrastinating, If that was you, go ahead and make sure that's what you're doing when you're losing yourself. The point is that you go back to yourself by doing things that make you feel good and these intentional activities that bring you back to yourself. If this video felt like company, I have a newsletter called Milk and Cookies on Substack. I'll link it in the description box below. Please have a look at it and read, because I write similar things for the newsletter as well. And if you like this video, of course, please, it would mean so much to me if you subscribe and share this with anyone you know who is losing themselves. And thank you so much for watching.